The 2nd of August 2021. My name is Sergey Baklikov and you're watching Baklikov Live. Hello everybody! The local time here in Ufa 7:02 p.m. or 19:02. You know, here in Russia, actually absolutely nobody use AM, PM. And I think that most of Russians will not really understands if you will say PM or AM. But in the same time, if you will say 5 in the morning or 5 in the evening, they will understand. But no AM, PM, okay? So I am now, well, technically in the city of Ufa, the capital of the Republic of Backwaters of Russia, but I'm in the outskirts. I'm in the outskirts of the city. This is the district or micro district which is called Zaton. Zaton, it's literally Russian for backwaters, and it's literally the backwaters of Belaya, the White River. The White, it's English for Belaya River, and this neighborhood was founded in the end of 19th century as the settlement for river workers. This is exactly the time when the river transportation started to be pretty much developed here. If you will look at the map or even to the thumbnail of this video, you will see how the White River goes. The White River goes actually a little bit like maybe 3-4 kilometers aside. And here goes the backwaters, or like the hands of the White River. You know, such backwaters which do not have the flow. Here is no flow. It was pretty comfortable for the winter stands of the ships, or for the ships which needs the repair. The billboards, LDPR, Neil MacDonald noticed it well, that this is the advertisement of Vladimir Zhirinovsky, one of the politicians which is actually in politics of Russia already since 1980s, yet since the Soviet times. The thing is, in September here starts the elections into the State Duma, and they already started the agitation, how to say, the promotions. LDPR, Liberal Democratic Party of Russia. Okay, I'm starting right here. This is the very beginning of Zaton. That's the road which leads to Ufa, to the main parts of the city, okay? Actually, even those technically, well, not technically, even those documentally, you know, Zaton is a part of Ufa. However, people always feeling like it's not even like Ufa. We always, and I think that people still used to say that, hey, I'm going to the city. So like to go there is to go to the city. But well, now documentally, formally here it's like, you know, it's a part of Ufa. Hi.
You speak Russian?
Yes, I speak Russian.
Понимаете по-русски?
Yeah.
О, я в эфире.
Да.
Прикольно.
Ты знаешь Влада А4?
Конечно,
А Ивана Гая?
конечно.
А как думаешь, что круче?
Иван Гай.
Хорошо. Ладно.
До свидания.
Yes, bye. Traditionally, kids loves me because I'm the one who kids want to become these days. Blogger or streamer. Maybe they are thinking that I'm even TikToker. You know? Okay, let's go. Here in Zaton, we'll see the mix of epochs. Well, first of all, that will be the private housing, just the private wooden houses. Then we will see the multi-flat residential wooden houses of the end of 19th, beginning of 20th century. Some Soviet multi-flat residential buildings like Khrushchev buildings and so-called Leningrad project residential buildings. and some really new buildings. Well, little by little, but Zaton is losing its historic view because they little by little demolish all the old buildings and constructing the new ones. Like, let's say last year, I mean not last year, just 2 weeks ago or maybe 1 week ago, here was the wooden house like this, or like this. You see, now it's just recently demolished, and soon there will be or the store, like maybe this, or the building, the residential building. I'm not sure if it's good or bad, because really the residential buildings here are mostly very typical. They don't have too much of the historic value. It's just a very typical wooden barracks. So here is the plans. Actually, Zaton, this neighborhood, was all about this. It's shipbuilding, ship repair plants. It's regime objects. Unfortunately, I can't get inside there, but that's the place where they were building the new ships, river ships, and used to repair them. Well, this is the plans. You see, here is the barrier. You can't get inside there without special permission. But this neighborhood was all about that. But I've read in the local history books that before here came the river workers. In the beginning of 19th century, here was the village of Old Believers. Yes, Old Believers lived here. Master Vin, master of wines. This is a wine shop. This is a chain of wine shops. Kalyanov. That's where they sell kalyans and all about that. Kalyan, it's hookah. Ladya. Here they sell auto parts for the foreign cars, and VAZ, V-A-Z. Beer store number 71 from the brand Glav Pivtorg, the main beer trade. Okay? And here is the groceries, продукты. Were there mosquitoes from Backwaters? Yes, sometimes, I mean, like pretty often, almost always, the governments, they use something against the mosquitoes, but there was few years they did nothing about it, and it was a lot of mosquitoes. So look, here is a typical two-storied wooden residential building of the end of 19th, beginning of 20th century. Now, not many of them are here. You know, little by little, they demolished them all. Like, let's say, look, exactly the buildings like this used to be there, and now look at that. So just a modern building, which is maybe here for 7-8 years. Multi-hallway, multi-storied residential building. Fifth wheel, пятое колесо. That's a tire repair. That's where you can repair your wheels for the cars. Little by little, Zaton is growing up. Sushi bar, the bar which is called Sushi Boom. You see here is, however, in many places you can see such a private housing, just a private houses, and all around them growing up the new residential buildings. Yeah, so actually here you can see two epochs, two big epochs. The epochs with a difference of like at least 100 years. The notary, notarius, notary. After school. The medical tests, Loric clinic. Oh, look, бассейн для малышей, swimming pool for the babies. Okay. Look, recently they still cut the grass. This is the oldest, one of the oldest residential buildings here. So another two-storied wooden barrack where several families are living. There's like several apartments. I think that for the last 15 years, the population of this district growing up at least twice. Now here is 86,000 residents are living in this district. 86, but that is all thankful to a new residential complexes here. Many of such buildings, especially in the outskirts of Zaton. Look, historically, this was the very first 9-floor building. 9-floor. Стой. Well. Okay, so 9-floor, 7-hallway building. This was the first one built in 1987. And the residential building where I lived was the next one. It goes there, we yet will come there. And look, what's interesting right here was another building, Akhmetov Street's house 247. It was looking like this, about like this. It was here, and one more there. It is demolished. When it was, we moved yet in the end of 1980s to the new apartment that my family got from the Soviet Union government. But about like 7 years ago, by the irony of fate, my family, my mom, my parents, my mom and my dad's, they got back here, but already to the new residential building. And actually now they are living in the same place they used to live, just in a new building. Here also was the wooden buildings like this. Now you see They are getting ready the grounds for construction. I'm not sure what it will be here, but something will be. Right now I'm going to the heart of the backwaters, to the backwaters itself. We go there. Also, I remember here was 2 stories wooden house like this one. So little by little everything is getting demolished. Is it true there's a watermelon museum? Good job, Sergey. You kept me entertained for many years. Thank you, Panda M. To say honest, I never heard about such a museum, but maybe. Now here you can find the museums. So many different museums. The thing is, now a lot of private museums, and in order to think something new, something interesting, something people never saw before, they all the time thinking up something new, something original. Well, and the beginner of it was Peter the Great. In his first museum, he used to show the babies who were born with mutations. So they were bombing them in the jars, and they still show them in St. Petersburg. So watermelon museum, why not? Okay, right here was the music school. It is deconstructed, and they are already constructed a new school. And here I really support the deconstruction of the music school here. It was also like absolutely not interesting, absolutely utilitarian wooden building, which is just rotten. It's not that they demolished it, but it's just literally at first it's just rotten itself. And later yet today I will show you what a really nice, beautiful new school. They are constructed a little bit distant from here. Here was the kindergarten, number 7. That's where I studied. And yet, like 2 years ago, I used to show you when it was already abandoned, but at least the building itself was here. Okay, now it's all deconstructed. And you see, little by little, on a place of an old, houses, kindergartens, music schools, they are constructing the new schools, the new kindergartens, the new residential buildings. Okay. So look, another interesting picture which tells a lot. The past, the present. Like look, here in this wooden barrack, multi-flag barrack, people are even still have the gardens. They are making gardening here. But at the same time, on the background, there's the new residential buildings. Well, little by little, they demolished them all. It's only a matter of time. Here is still water pumps. Well, actually, this is an interesting example how little by little, but everything develops, even in the outskirts of the cities. And it's okay, but it's not okay when When sometimes it happens that some historic, really interesting, unusual, or unique buildings, places are getting destroyed in the historical city centers. So my parents now living here. Okay, let's go to the backwaters. You see people here have the underground canalization. All the shit goes under the ground. Old school way to dry the clothes. Just a barracks. By the way, Igor, you remember Igor? A friend of mine, he's living here now. The utilization of trash happens in time, so you don't see any sheets even around the trash cans. The concept of the yards without the cars. The parking is here. Well, you actually can get to the yard, but only for no more than 40 minutes. Mostly for loading, unloading. For example, you're making the maintenance and the truck will bring the materials for making the maintenance, for making the finishing in your apartment. So the car may get there to unload it. Wow, so bright sun. The temperature is plus 31 degrees Celsius, and it will get even higher. But you know what? I think I'm gonna escape. Here is the stadium, which is called Vodnik. Vodnik, it's like waterman. Vodnik, yes. Many things here related to the river ship industry. So the river thematic, Vodnik, waterman. The guys there are playing basketball. I remember, yes, I was playing there. So here is like the professional school, football school. Here is really kind of good stadium. Well, at least kind of good field. Not the stadium, field. It's actually a football field with a really quality surface. And here is the sections for kids and teenagers. Well, different age groups. The wagons, where it's like they can redress. Well, if you remember my cousin Catherine, her son Roman, he used to be he used to go to this section. He wanted to be a footballer. Then he decided that he got tired of football, and he decided to be a boxer. So Catherine had to took him off from here and to give to the box. In about a half of year, he got tired every day to be kicked, to have his face kicked off, okay? And so he decided to go for kayaking. Same as I did. The kayaking section is still exists here and doing pretty well. Kayaking. I actually used to be into kayaking for like 5 years. It's like, I mean, the sport kayaking, the Olympic style of kayaking. It's even the official name of the school is the School of Olympic Reserve. You see, they're still here. Yeah. I spend a lot of time in this barge. Inside of this barge, there's a lot of kayaks. And I was into kayaking. But then I did understand that I'm more like a kind of creative guys. Look, many people are swimming because it's plus 31. It's a heat wave in these parts of Russia again. And here is some of the ships. It's mostly here the barge movers. Yeah, now unfortunately the passengers, like a passengers mass rides, not as much develops as in the Soviet days, but the freight rides, it's still active. It's still active. Well, I believe that sooner or later, but the river fleets of Russia will become as powerful as it was in the Soviet days, because actually the rivers in Russia, it's a jam. It's a real jam, because you can go all the way through Russia through the rivers. For example, do you know that you can get from the Black Sea, from the south of Russia, where is Sochi, just by the river, to St. Petersburg, to Baltic Sea. You know that? You can do that. And my father was making that. Several days ago, I was in Kumertau, the town of Kumertau, and I used to show where my father was growing up, and he moved here to Ufa to study in a river college. Yes, I will show that to you. He wanted to become the river cruise ship captain, and he became. And he worked exactly in a so-called golden era of the river cruise, like a passengers, civilian transportation. It was like a cruises, you know, and it was a great time. It was absolutely great time. Okay, so if you will go there, there's another beach, actual two beaches. And this is Backwaters. So this is exactly what it is all about, the Backwaters. That was amazing. Like, you know, my father was the captain. Also, my mom also worked on the same ship. And it was a great time. They always recall about it as about a great time. The river cruises to Moscow through Ulyanovsk, Kazan, Nizhny Novgorod, and more. And more towns. Belaya River, Kama River, Volga River, Oka River. That was amazing. The thing is, in order to make the Russian river fleets great again, here needs a huge contribution from the government, because I guess businessmen just when they start calculate how long it will take to return at least what you invested. Well, that's where the problems probably. Okay, backwaters. You just saw the heart of the backwaters itself, and all you see around initially was founded as just a settlement, for river workers, for the workers of that shipbuilding and ship repair plants, and the river workers in general. Well, now it's not anymore. I mean, yeah, like still many people are living since those days. Like my family, my father, he came here to study in a river college, and he is still living here. But the district already grown up so much since then, and it develops just because they construct here a lot of new residential complexes with a lot of multi-flat residential buildings. So people are just moving here. Many people settle down here just because this is an outskirts of Ufa, so the land is cheaper here. And for the developers, it's cheaper to buy the lands, and then they can sell their apartments cheaper as well. For this reason, like they occupy the mass segment. It happens everywhere now. It happens everywhere. You know, let's say I've heard that, let's say in the United States, as closer to the city center, as closer to downtown, as it's like less prestige to live, and vice versa, as more to suburbs, as it's better. Here, vice versa, absolutely vice versa. Here is vice versa. You know, it's like the best area all around the historic city center, and more to outskirts, more cheaper. You can buy the housing, I mean the apartments, the estates. So that's it. So the most expensive land in the center of any city, and then it goes cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, little by little. So it's everywhere now that in the outskirts of Russian cities, the housing grows up pretty much because, well, first, it's cheaper to buy the land. Second, it's just easier to find the land. Okay, it's not like looking for the spots in the center, in the historical city center. So it goes easier, and thankful for this, the outskirts getting really much developed. Like let's say in St. Petersburg, let's say the districts like Parnas, you know, like Murino, which is now separate town. You know, just like several years ago, you could buy one-room apartments there for like $18,000. Okay. Okay, I wanted to call Igor. I wanted to invite Igor for this walk. He never picks up the phone. I wanted to call Catherine for this walk. She never picks up the phone. Probably she is busy now with her yoga trainings. Look at that walkway. The thing is, they have, how to say, the water heaters there, their own boilers, and that's for a worker who's taking care about the boilers to make it comfortable to walk from the building to the building. And here is still some private housing available. Actually, the private sector is still big in Zaton. Okay, we are getting back to the residential part of Zaton. I now will show you where my parents lives now, where my father studied, where he met my mom. I will show you my school. Actually, my schools. I studied in 3 schools. Okay, here, everywhere used to be some more of such wooden barracks here. They deconstructed them and got the land for the construction of a new multi-flat buildings. Well, this is like really old, maybe like already 25 years old. And this one is like maybe 7 years old. So, and this is so-called River College, Ufa River College. But now, look, they renamed it, even though it's like all the same building. However, some years ago, they renamed it in more long name, which I think which I guess they are thinking that sounds more prestigious, like, you know, Volga State Academy of Water Transportation. That's how it sounds literally. Look, so this is the building of the academy, and this is like the act hall. It's called act hall. Act hall, it's like concert hall or something. So it's like the place for making different ceremonies. And that's exactly where also back in 1970s, they were playing the concerts, live music concerts. And my father played guitar. And here also were able coming, even those ones who never studied here for the concerts. And that's when my mom came and she fell in love into my young, beautiful, tall father with a nice voice and guitar skills. Well, he lived just like next to the River College. the Soviet mosaics. The mosaics are great. Look how long-lasting they are. So the mosaics dedicated to river workers. And there the dormitory for the students who are coming from another towns of the Republic of Bashkortostan of Russia. And initially my father lived there. The bus stop which is called River College. The River College. This is, by the way, the sport hall. That's for the physical culture lessons. Dormitory. You see, no balconies, only one entrance. Here is the playground, the box. I was spending a lot of time there in my childhood. And there's a big dining room.
Рассказала, как ситуацию.
The main street of the Backwaters, Akhmetov Street. That's the residential building where I lived most of my time in Zaton. And this was my very first school. The school number 4. It's a really small school, which is already back then was more than 100 years old. Already back in 1990s. So it's at the end of 19th century. Now, well, here was a private sector and the garden. The school garden with some blackberries, black currant, something like that, apple trees. But then they demolished all the private sector here. the garden and constructed this new one school. So this turned to be the school number 4. And this, yeah, and this was turned into я знаю, я учился. So it turns into the house of children's creativity. So now it's just like a place where people can come for different sections. It may be dances, it's maybe the robot techniques, programming, or something else. You know, maybe some sports. Well, I already never studied in this school. I never studied in this school, okay? Because this school was finished already after me, when I finished the school. It's already my nephew. My nephew studied here. Okay, where is now the football field? Here was the private sector. Here was like maybe, I don't know, 7, 8 private houses, private wooden houses. All of them were demolished. Here was the garden. There was apple trees. There was black currant, cherry. I remember that. So this is a relatively new school. The main entrance to the school is here. Now it's quiet here because the educational year starts at the 1st of September in Russia. For all, for colleges, for schools, for universities. Oh yeah, traditionally I can smell a fresh paint, because traditionally the summertime is the time when they are making some maintenance. They refresh the paints. I mean, like they paint something and stuff like that. Just some minor maintenances. Behind these buildings, there's a huge boiler and an old cemetery, which was closed in the 1970s. It's called Zatonskое кладбище, Zaton cemetery. The thing is, it's really small one. And it was exceeded yet back in 1970s. was Patriot, was Ulyanovsk car factory. Ulyanovsk, I was there last year, if you remember. It was the second town in my road trip. If you remember, at first it was Samara. I started road trip 2020 from Ufa, and the first town to visit was Samara, then Ulyanovsk, after Ulyanovsk, Sviazhsk, and Kazan. Look, here is real, like, still mostly the private housing, the private houses. Here is a boiler. It's a big boiler. This boiler provides with the heat and hot water, I guess, like the whole district around. So here is the part which looks more like a village, like the Timanovo village, with also same kind of houses. Some houses are older, some newer, some very new ones. Some are made of woods, some are made of bricks, some are made of blocks. Like this one, definitely a new residential, new house. It's like one of the outskirt parts of Zaton itself. Well, and here is an old cemetery. The sign Stara Zatonskое кладбище, Old Zaton graveyard. It's in Bashkir language. So we are in a cemetery, an old cemetery. Here yet is the mother and grandmother of my grandmother. So as you can see, it's not an American style. It's not just the stone and that's it. Here, every grave and its decoration depends on, like, the let's say fantasy and the wallet of the relatives. Also, the condition of the graves also depends on the relatives, of the people. If the relatives are not coming and not taking care, so it looks it looks no good. Actually, for such a graves, you need coming here on a regular basis, because if you're not coming here often, the grass, the weeds, growing up pretty fast. I remember that when I was a boy, we used to scare each other. That's when we are walking next to the cemetery, near the cemetery in the evening. We see the shining from some of the graves. And those guys who was like too impressive, they were really scared of that. We were saying that it's a bones. It's a bones are shining. Like you see somebody really taking care about, let's say, this grave. You see all the weeds moved, all the weed moved, and fresh flowers. So the condition of every grave depends on just relatives. It depends on the relatives of the certain dead man. Look, I've got lost. It's like the beginning of the scary movie. Come on. I'm now like walking and like walking all around. And and walking around all the same places. What are the fences around the graves? It's a fences. It's metallic fences. It seems like the older dates I see here, like 1976. Yes, this is the cemetery which is closed already long ago because it's all exceeded. Just no spots, no room. Okay, seems like I have found the exit. Okay, dudes. Okay, I got back to Zaton itself. Well, today you saw the old Zaton cemetery. You see, some houses are really just right next to the graveyard. This is, as I said, the boiler. Here they boil the water for so many houses around. They provide so-called the system of central heating. The pipe. Hi, cat. So this is my neighborhood, my district, and now we will go to the place where I lived most of my life so far. Look, the residential building where I lived, exactly the same like this. It's so-called Leningrad project. They used to construct the series of the multi-apartment buildings like this in Leningrad. Do you miss your old place? Actually not. Well, anyway, I'm coming to Ufa like at least 3 times a year. And it's more than enough for me never to have any nostalgia. Okay, we are going to Akhmetov Street, house 316. That was my address from 1989 to like 2009. So I was living there like for 20 years.
Go назад, go назад, go назад.
This is that school, school number 4 again. Here was an old wooden library and recently demolished too. So as you can see everywhere in my old districts, all the old wooden buildings, they are getting demolished and they are constructing the new ones. So this is it. Akhmetov Street, house 316. This is, here we had 5-room apartments, which is like really big, even by today's standards. But back in the Soviet days, it was like, wow. And we've got it just because my grandmother, my father, and my mom, they work in the same company for many years. Let's say my grandmother worked for 43 years for the river company. My father worked there, my mom worked there, and they had 2 kids, me and my brother, my older brother. So that's why how we all together, we've got these 5-room apartments. So you see the conditioner on the 3rd floor. So this window, these 2 windows, this long balcony, there 2 windows, and also 1 small balcony. That all was our apartments, 5-room apartments, which was almost 100 square meters. Now here is somebody purchased the apartment on the 1st floor and opened the shoe store here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So these two windows and this balcony also was my apartment. That's where I lived until like 2009. The playground. The playground for kids. This is another boiler, where also there's located the police department, the local police department. You see it? There's like blue signs. So this used to be the public bathhouse right here, because here was a lot of public, how to say, a lot of people lived in an old wooden barracks without the hot water, so they really had to ask. But now, like almost nobody needs the public bathhouse, so it was converted into just like some kind of mall. And they just have different business here. The stores, insurance office. The car repair.
Если ты хочешь со мной... Ты несешь мяч просто на велике?
When they are constructed this residential building back in about 1998, they also constructed this. This is phone station, the landline phone station, and that's where the landline phones came to Zaton. Another playground. And on the first floor, the whole first floor of this residential building, it's a children's polyclinic. the polyclinic only for children. Here also was a kind of decent, by its size, private sector. The sector of private houses. Now they demolished, and here they constructed the new residential buildings. Well, I'm telling you, little by little, everywhere, all the old housing, it's getting destroyed. And they construct the new houses. So this is, as I said, children's polyclinic, number 6. And this is the school number 46. This is 1960s, such a typical project of the Soviet schools. I studied here as well.
Смотрите,
Hi.
вы русский умеете?
Да, могу по-русски.
Про что вы снимаете?
Да, стримчик по Затону.
А как она называется?
Стрим, Zaton. Zaton
Вы
Live.
блогер?
А, да. Называется Баклыков Live, потому что я Баклыков.
Чего?
Я Баклыков.
Я не знаю английский.
Не, ну фамилия Баклыков.
А,
Баклыков.
в Ютубе?
Да. А Live это потому что Live. Ну, это прямые эфиры. Бак.
У вас прямой эфир сейчас идет?
Да. Вот это.
Спасибо.
У тебя нет YouTube премиума? Да? Давай, чувак. Как думаешь, что лучше? Влад А4 или Ивангай? Не знаешь? Okay. Traditionally, the kids always curious about me, about what I'm doing. Okay, so this is the second school where I studied. So this is 1960s school. It's such a typical architectural project in Soviet Union, in Russia. You will find a lot of schools like this. It's a kind of typical project. 1960s project. Architectural project, I mean. Well, here is a sport hall. That's where we had sport lessons. The schoolyard. Here is a football/basketball field. And this is the end of 1980s, 13th floor building. Most of my life, this was the tallest residential building and building at all in my district. Now there's a lot of way taller buildings developed for the last like 7-10 years. Here is the dining room. Here is the place where a part of the building where they cook. And here is the dining room, a big dining room, big enough for like a half of classes to come here. The thing is, some people ate, like had a breakfast already after the second lesson and a half of school under the third, because they were not able to there wasn't enough of room in this building for all classes at once. Look, the stairway which starts nowhere and leads to nowhere. Okay. The square before the school. Look, I see they have changed all the wooden frames to plastic frames. Yes. The plastic windows. They keep conquer Russia. Above the ground crosswalk, such a pedestrian bridge. When they constructed this, nobody was sure. Like, why? But okay, it's still here. And some people even walking through this. What? Zaton? Zaton. Now here is the kindergarten. That's where my mom works for already 30 years. One of the Gazprom offices. Well, it's closed now, but I will show you a little bit the kindergarten where my mom works, still works. More of old buildings which are recently also getting demolished. The next block I will show you, you will see they recently demolished many of them. And then we will get closer to the place where you will see all the new residential complexes. The groceries. So the oldest neighborhoods, the oldest buildings in Zaton. Okay, look, just a year ago, here was the whole street of the residential buildings exactly like this. It's all demolished now, and you see they already started constructing something here. And there's, you know what's there? It's a market. It's a market like indoor and outdoor market. The hotel, mini hotel. And there's a very new mall. That's the mall. It's 8:33. Probably the market is already closed. But look, that's where you can get inside. There's the places inside. They sell the clothes, the shoes, the groceries. Here's also the offices of mobile companies, Megaphone, MTS, electronics, mobile phones. Drugstores. And this is the new one, the new mall. VTB Bank, Fujiyama Sushi Restaurant, bakery. Shawarma. Look, shawarma по-питерски. Shawarma St. Petersburg style. Medical techniques. You see, shawarma, not shawarma, shawarma St. Petersburg style. По-питерски. Аптека. It's drugstore, farmland. Court Optica, optics. So here you can buy the glasses. Flowers, of course. Wholesale and retail. And also a lot of indoor places there as well. Пятерочка, Little Five, supermarkets, confectionery, and more. So this is like a trading part. The trading part of Backwaters. For shopping, everybody comes here. And there's also the construction market. Стройматериалы, стройmarket, construction market. That's everything for the construction of your house or for the maintenance in your apartment, like all for finishing. And the petroleum station. Yes, petroleum station from Lukoil is here. I say petroleum because petroleum and gas, it's two different things here. The thing is really here, some cars are working on gas, methane, propane, and gas is gas. Petroleum is petroleum. And I never saw the petroleum station which goes together with the gas station. Okay, local park, which is called Volna, the wave. Yeah, again, on a river thematic, the wave. It's like the wave, you know, on a river. So not accidentally, you can see an anchor here on the fence. The wolf from one of the most popular Russian cartoons, which is called "Ну погоди," what means, oh wait. It like means, oh wait, I'll get you. The central alley of the park. There's a military transportation machine. By the way, today here in Russia, it's the day of paratroopers, you know, airborne forces. The 2nd of August. It's really curious. I never saw not a single paratrooper today. Glory to airborne force. Slava VDV. The park recently, like for the last 2 years, went through the biggest renovation ever. And I see now they renovate even the pond here, which is amazing. The stage with the benches. There's the skate park. This park became so urbanistic looking. In my childhood, it was just mostly just a raw park. It's much better than it used. It's much better now than it used to be. My childhood. You know, the federal program really works. The federal program for the mass renovation and reconstruction of public spaces in Russia. Parks, squares, embankments, as the renovation, as the making of the new ones. And recently, you saw yourself that no matter where I am, they do that. They do that everywhere now. Workouts. This is the area for workouts, which then goes into the playground for kids.
Как будто нам молоко лава. Все, убегаем. Она сейчас плывет на окно. Эй! Помогите!
The toilets, WC, water closet, Don Plumber. That's where you can buy the water. I need to buy water. Здравствуйте. Хотелось бы приобрести воду без газа. По карте. Dudes, I'm really thirsty. It's plus 31 degrees Celsius and gonna be even hotter, but I'm gonna escape. I'm gonna escape from the heat, if you know what I mean. This is the playground for kids, which looks like autodrome. Like, you know, autodrome for driving trainings. Really lots of people. Really lots of people. Really well-made public spaces, the playgrounds. They always attract a lot of people. A lot of people. So this is my neighborhood, my district, I would say. Блять. Okay, and here goes the new districts. Мы родились в тесных квартирах новых районов. You see, like really tall, multi-flat residential buildings. Okay, that was the park called Wave. In the beginning of the live stream, I used to show you the place where was the music school, the children's music school. And I said that it's really great that it was demolished because it was just a very utilitarian wooden old building, which is literally rotten. It's literally rotten before they finally deconstructed that. And they reconstructed the new, really nice school. It's there. I will show you now. Wow, already 191 viewers, which is great. Well, you know, this live stream keeps me so busy, like showing this and that, telling about this stuff, that I actually hadn't time to look at the chat, and only now noticed already almost 200 viewers, which is for this time is pretty good. The city hospital. I hope it's okay for me walking here. Yes, with the camera. The ambulances goes from here. The city hospital, one of well, not this, it's some kind of garage or something, but this one, It's closed here. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, good. And here is a sports school. This is like a usual school, but it's a sports school, which is a mix of the school, regular school, and the school for sportsmen, the children's sportsmen. In Russian language, it's called internat. Internat. That means that the kids are here all the time. They are living only on a weekend. But from Monday to Friday, they are here all the time. So they can focus on sport on maximum. Sport, maximum of sport. Fred Thorne, very nice grounds. 260s Cowboys so that they become Olympians. Yeah, why not? Zuzandra, hurrah, Zaton again. So you see here is like internet. Not sure how this word sounds in English. Internet. But that's where they live. Study and live. They are here 24/7 except the weekends. Only on the weekends they go home. So there's actually like a regular school where they study just a regular school subjects. Sports facilities, you see? Here is the sports facilities. And like dormitory, that's where they sleep. Sport complex. Kerry Butler, I left Olga Korbut's gymnast. Well, she worth that. But one mistake, and it's broke all her life. Buffering, okay. Can do nothing with that. Until the Han. Okay, live stream back. No, I don't think it's back. I think it's never got back yet. Fred Thorne, hello Freds, hello Barry Breen. Still the Soviet fans here. Now finally, this is the music school. The music school, they are constructed after the old one was demolished. And this is pretty cool. Really nice. Really nice music school. It's way better than the old one, which is literally rotten because it was old, made of woods. He called me TikToker. Okay. They don't know YouTube already. So, the music school. Children's music school. Actually, now all the music schools are renamed to art schools. Okay. Children's art school. Amazing. Amazing new music school. So you see they demolish an old stuff and construct the new stuff. The only thing I don't love, they construct an ant hills. It's an ant hills. Look how they big. How many apartments here. And usually here is not enough of parkings for all the people. It's like 20, 25 storied buildings. This one is still under construction. Yes, this is a very new residential complex. They have some underground parkings, those. But most people are not buying the parkings. But people buy it so much because it's cheap. It's the outskirts area, way cheaper than in the central areas of the city, or not far from the center. people actually may have a very small amount of money already to buy the apartment here, because when they have like at least maybe $5,000-6,000, they already can get a mortgage from the bank and already to buy the apartments. Another hospital. We are getting to the very outskirts, of Zaton. Here mostly just the new residential buildings, the new high-rise multi-flat buildings. So that's why I think the population of Zaton growing up at least twice for the last 5-7 years.
Не как ты ходила.
My cousin Catherine lives in this neighborhood.
Какие новости?
So Catherine lives there. You see, her windows is about here. In the beginning of 2000s, here used to be the best club of Ufa. nightclub of Ufa, one of the best one clubs of Ufa. It was called Chasha. Now here is all about the commerce. Now here is just a drugstore, supermarkets, Пятерочка, Little Five, Magnet. Okay. But that was a great time when there was Chasha. That was really quality nightclub with a quality electronic music and really quality invitations of the DJs. Well, and this is the historic part of these neighborhoods. It's Helicopter Town. It used to be called Helicopter Towns. And this is the Flyer Street, Lетчиков Street. The thing is, back in the end of 1980s, all 1990s, here was the helicopter college. Here they studied for, it was the college for helicopter pilots. And different from the town of Kumirtau, they never produced the helicopters here. But here, it was the place to educate the helicopter pilots. The flag of paratroopers. Today is the day of paratroopers, the day of airborne forces. Okay, the school number 128, that's where I also studied. I studied there. Here used to live a friend of mine, Evgeny Belov. Also another classmate of mine, Alexandra Kashigina. There's Roman Kunda, Maxim Ustinov, Dmitry Grishin. The kindergarten. Okay, the school 128. I studied here as well. And even here now, next to the school, goes the construction. This is pretty great. The pedestrian crosswalk right next to the gates to the school. Hi. He said he's watching my stream. Hi. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah, hello again. Nice Volga. And look, so this is it. That's already the end of Ufa. The very outskirts. This is already M7 Federal motorway. M7, one of the roads to Moscow. M stands for exactly for Moscow. M7. Okay, so here Zuzandar telling us this is the hospital under the construction. It's nice. It's nice. Because now here is as much of the residential buildings as definitely needs more hospitals, more schools, more kindergartens. But look, actually Zaton keep growing there, and they're already now about to join with the village called Milovka. Meanwhile, kinda good sunset there. Yes, it's a sunset time. The very outskirts of Ufa. You see, there's the whole residential district there. It goes there, it goes deep, and already about to unite with a village called So the developments of Zaton, my my motherland's districts, keep going with giant tempos. Little by little, all the old houses are getting demolished and they're constructing something new there. Well, which is actually good. It's good, but not good that it's mostly an anthills, like 2 tall buildings, okay? So this is it. I'm on a border of Ufa. This is a border of Ufa. Kazan there. Kazan there. 540 kilometers. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this walk through my neighborhood, through my districts where I was born and raised. See you tomorrow. Okay? See you tomorrow. In the end, traditional panorama. Francesca Larelli, Rishabh Sethi, Great Gatsby, King Nero, Lin Young, Joe Hernandez Jadis, Eric Draven, Mustafa Cesar Khan, Jason B, Zuzander, Goodbye Blue Sky, Neil McDonald's, Stevie Ray, Shelly Vasquez, Remy Sachet, RG, Attila the Hun, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mickey Rourke, Mel Gibson, Julia Roberts, Richard Gere, Bola Young, Chuck Norris, Jackie Chan, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Gerard Depardieu, Phil, Jay Lewis, thank you friend, Bill Murray, Chaz Brown, Cynthia Rothrock, Linda Hamilton, Michael J. Fox, Robert Patrick, Charlie Sheen, Philadelphia Proud, Sharon Stone, Ronnie Cox, Jose Boden, Michael Dudikov, Sylvester Stallone, Jean Reno, Mickey Rourke, Andre Biro, William Kennedy, Bruce Willis, John Travolta, Attila the Hun. Okay, from the backwaters, from Zaton, my native districts and neighborhoods. From Ufa, from the Republic of Bashkortostan of Russia, from Backwaters Life, with love.